Hey, 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 welcome to the Thriving Minds podcast with your host, Walter Parada, where we strive to provide you with empowering talks so you can live to thrive. I hope you find yourself in the right frame of mind, focusing on the things within your control. All right, so today's episode is Success Starts with Personal Development. So once you're able to define what your success is, what's going to help you attain that success or get to that point that you desire is it all begins with your personal development. These two things are directly linked to each other, but what gets our attention is success. Success has been continuously drilled into us because it means that we've reached a destination, we've gotten the results we wanted, that it proves that we're somebody and we're worth being noticed by others. This helps us feel significant, that we matter. But we got to realize that we matter no matter if we have success or not. You know, we've been so conditioned to just look at the end and are not worried about how to make it happen. So essentially, our focus is getting to all the benefits, those rewards, but not coming to understand what it takes to make it happen. And then once we start to work towards what it is we want, we'll come to realize how much work was actually required. And there can be a tendency to say, it's just too hard. That's not reasonable. That's when self-doubt really starts to creep in and we're more hesitant going forward. If that's the case, the first thing we got to come to ask ourselves is, how can I be better? How can I improve so I ensure that I reach what I set for myself? Personal development is the driver of success. As it goes, so will success. It is the foundation for why you can achieve what you set out for. Think about whatever you define your success as. It all begins with your overall development. So if you want to attain a certain outcome, it requires doing things that are difficult, where you face some sort of adversity, and somewhere along the way, you made the choice of being resilient to keep at it until you make a little progress, and then a little bit more progress, until eventually it adds up to make a massive difference. In that progress that you make, the unseen or the unnoticed things are developed, such as your confidence, your grit, your ability to rebound from coming up short, your emotional intelligence, your ability to learn in different ways and applying that information. All of these things make it possible to achieve your success, whether it's trophies, a diploma, a certificate, landing the career you wanted, making the money you set out for, buying what you want, or just building the life that you desire. They are the building blocks for everything that you make progress in. For the most part, personal development is something that is an afterthought, that it really makes no difference or somehow is uncomfortable to talk about or even think about. It's natural for our tendency when things don't go our way is to find fault or blame for why things didn't go as expected, that we're looking for things outside of our control and we can focus our attention away from where it is exactly we need to be better at. It's that defense mechanism to deflect some of those harsh or inconvenient truths about ourselves because we're trying to preserve what I like to call, in a case like this, is the ego and not so much confidence. The ego needs to be coddled and constantly fed on how great it is, and anything short of that is going to be quickly expelled because it's afraid of being exposed and vulnerable, that it's too weak to handle the facts. But confidence really understands the importance of needing to realize what the truth is, because that's where the information lies in that's going to ultimately give us the answers on what needs to be done. It's strong enough to be able to withstand hearing or realizing those mistakes, those failures that were committed, but being able to not dwell on it, to find what was learned from it. So as you develop, so will your success rate, because personal development is about learning and growing, where you're acquiring knowledge and skills that ultimately better you, where you continuously become the best version of yourself. This is done through many everyday things that get overlooked, but we've become so enamored with the latest and greatest technique, routine, or tools that skyrockets our success rate. Things like the 6 steps on how to succeed. It's not going to be the same for everybody. Some, it might be more a straightforward path, while others might be taking different routes to get where they need to go. The foundation of your success is an internal process that is unique and the right fit for you. And this is difficult to measure, so the results or the progress that's made goes largely unnoticed, unlike when you gain muscle or lose weight. You can see the muscle that was gained or the weight that was dropped. To help become the best version of yourself, just continuously enhance yourself in whatever way that you can. This could be through that information that you gain, recognizing how to better handle your emotions, which is going to help you better handle yourself. That leads to better decision making, incorporating helpful habits, whether it's exercising, eating healthier, or taking a time to reflect in peace. It's about building and strengthening from the inside instead of from the outside in. Once you're able to make this a priority and follow through on it, success is going to be correlated. So the more effectively you do this, the better you become and the more success you'll experience. This means that you're going to learn from your past blunders so you can avoid repeating them, and you're going to learn from the mistakes and the successes from other people that are only going to enhance you. So if we think about the more information that you have, it means the more options are at your disposal, but only if you can recognize and apply it in a practical manner. You know, a common detractor that prevents people from going after a big, ambitious goal is that they don't know how. And that alone prevents them from possibly even trying. The unknown can keep people comfortable in what they know. So the simple solution to a roadblock like this is to find out how. And that's through actively gaining the information you need so you can attain that goal. A big part of developing on a personal level is having that accountability to yourself, where you're the one that takes the initiative to get things done. You need to develop that work ethic to fight through the tendencies to want to give up when you hit a wall or when you're struggling to overcome what you're facing. Having this type of outlook makes you more process focused, so you do the everyday things that are needed, which adds up over time. You know, I really like the quote from Bruce Lee where he says, "Long-term consistency trumps short-term intensity," meaning that no matter how small the effort that you give, as long as you consistently do it, it's going to add up to massive results over time, as opposed to working with a high level of enthusiasm for a short period of time, because eventually that wears off. You know, motivation can be a great thing for a period of time, but that too is going to wear off. What's going to be the difference in how you operate and what drives you is understanding the purpose for why you do anything. We're all motivated by different things at different times of our lives. So in the case when we were 6 years old, we were probably motivated by ice cream and toys and watching cartoons. But then as you get older, you become motivated by having a new car or buying a house or buying the latest gadgets. These external things that we chase all change. So how you define your success is also going to change over time. In a case like this, success is what we're motivated by because it's the destination that we're trying to get to. But the driver of why you do anything is really to become better. To be better today than you were yesterday. To be better tomorrow than you are right now. And when you experience that, it really is a fulfilling experience because it's about realizing that you're becoming so much more. The success that we attain are generally short-lived, but what really makes a long-lasting impact is seeing the growth that we've made. Realizing those struggles that we're facing and then knowing that they were overcome, it just further invigorates us, that continuously elevates us to new heights, and success is going to follow. Eventually what happens is success is not even a priority, but it's about growth. If you experience success with very little resistance, it can feel a bit like a letdown, where you say, that's it? But when you experience success, when it was long and difficult, there's a tendency to savor and really enjoy it so much more. Probably the first thing that's needed in being able to develop yourself personally is confidence. confidence in yourself and who you are. This is going to help self-assess to understand your strengths and your weaknesses in an objective way, where you can have those honest conversations to know the areas that are lacking. And if we remember, confidence is a skill that can be developed. It's not like either you have it or you don't. We all have some level of confidence within ourselves. Some might be more than others, but it can be grown and strengthened. Confidence tends to come from that area of strength. So first look to the strengths that you have. Identify what they are and how you can use them to your advantage. Maybe it's being able to communicate with people effectively, being able to understand where they're coming from, and this can help you form strong relationships that make you stronger together. Or maybe it's being organized, and you can use this to be more productive. Whatever your strength is, make sure to lean on it, and your confidence is going to grow. From there, you can then focus on those areas that you're weak in, and it might be helpful to write it down so you get more of an objective point of view, so you become a bit detached emotionally from it. This can help take away that stinging feeling where we say, oof, that hurts to know, and instead can figure out how to manage and improve on them. This makes those areas less sensitive and can better deal with them when it comes about. So if one of my weak areas is staying on task, then I can find ways to minimize distractions to be more effective. Or I could set a timer for 30 minutes to dedicate to one singular thing. This can help me focus on what can be done instead of what can't be done. A big part of developing yourself personally is breaking free from the pack, from needing to be like others and doing your own thing. It's about doing what's right for you and not needing to have somebody approve of it, whether it's your friends, your parents, or your peers in general. It's about having enough confidence in yourself to stand alone if need be. Sometimes the friends or the people that you associate with are not always going to help you get where you need to be. I like the quote from Jim Rohn where he says, "You are the average of the 5 people that you most associate with." Come to evaluate the people that you spend most of your time with and really figure out if they're bettering you or they're not. The people that you spend the most time with is what you tend to become, because their ideas and their behaviors are going to influence you. It's going to be in your best interest to move away from those people that are negatively influencing you or holding you back. If and when you decide to make this choice, it's going to be uncomfortable because there's going to be a level of familiarity that's no longer there. Just come to embrace that the things that are unfamiliar are not a bad thing. It can be an avenue to a great destination, and that comes from making the choice of not staying put where you are right now. If need be, take the time to be alone and work on yourself. There's nothing wrong with spending time with yourself, and in fact, you're going to better understand who you are and what drives you. Let go of needing to feel attached continuously to other people and find what works for you. And once you've given yourself enough time to be alone and better understand yourself, surround yourself with the right people. The people that uplift you and empower you to be better and do better. It's not that you're not good enough right now, but it's about finding ways to enhance you. Their ideas and their energy are going to rub off onto you, that's going to influence you to grow. What we see around us is what we tend to emulate. So over time, you're going to adopt many of their behaviors of the company that you keep. And make sure to find the right fit. Those people that are looking to develop themselves on a personal level, as opposed to just trying to be successful. They'll emphasize the process as opposed to just being solely results oriented. To be able to provide an environment to learn and be about the journey as opposed to just showing off their accolades. Obviously, one of the most crucial ways to develop yourself is just actively reading. Reading is where you get that information that helps you think critically and analyze what you've processed. It stimulates you to come up with ideas and thinking through how it can be done. It's really a magical process that instills a greater belief that things are possible. If you look at many highly successful people such as Bill Gates, the founder of Microsoft, Mark Zuckerberg, the founder of Facebook, now known as Meta, or Elon Musk, the founder of Tesla and SpaceX, they all continuously read. It's a daily habit. In a study of about 1,200 wealthy people, the thing that they all had in common was that they read, and they were highly selective in what they read, looking for it to be educational over it being entertaining. They tend to read biographies of other successful people, looking for guidance and inspiration. If you look at Warren Buffett, one of the greatest billionaire investors, he dedicates about 80% of his day to reading alone, shooting for about 500 pages a day. He's continuously reading over financial statements and balance sheets of companies to evaluate if it's a great investment. He said that's the key to his success, and it builds like compound interest. The overall benefits of reading is it helps to prevent stress and depression. It improves confidence, empathy, decision making, and feeling better about life in general. It's just a great way to gain perspective and further explore other people's thinking to enhance yours. Another thing that's going to help to improve yourself personally is to set goals for yourself and make sure they're process oriented. A very generic term or statement is, I want to be successful. Well, can you expand on that? What is it that's going to make you successful or not? And success is a loose term that you're going to have to define for yourself. So instead of just saying, I want to gain more knowledge, instead say, I want to read an autobiography once a month for 18 months. This helps to identify the goal and how you're going to reach it. It keeps you on track to attain what you set for yourself. Or the goal could be to fast once a week for 24 hours to help build a stronger mindset and incorporate some of the health benefits that comes with fasting. Both of these types of goals are focused on a personal level, and they have actionable items on a weekly or monthly basis to make sure you're on target to reach it. Simply having a weekly plan and a commitment to it increases your chance of reaching your goals by 76%. The goal itself is that they become habits. And if we remember, you form your habits and your habits form you. You want to build those teammates all around you to uplift you when you're not at your best. And that's what your habits serve as, your teammates. If you're not used to reading every day, it can become kind of a chore to get in the mode of doing it. But with enough consistent action towards it, it eventually gets to the point where it just becomes automatic. Think about how we brush our teeth. We're not actively thinking that we're brushing. Maybe you use an electric toothbrush, but either way, you probably have a habit of doing it for a certain period of time. I know for me, I still actually count out 2 minutes when I brush my teeth. And now that I think about it, I kind of know that I count, but now it's just become so ingrained in me that I don't have to remind myself to do it. And that started with a simple goal of saying, I'm going to count out brushing my teeth for 2 minutes. So identify the habits that are really going to help you be better, to reach what success is to you. The things like exercising and reading and journaling, consuming empowering content, are things that are going to transform how you experience life. It's going to give you a greater understanding that what you do daily is going to affect the situation you find yourself in because you've positioned yourself for it, whether it's good or bad. The earlier you can create these helpful habits, the greater your overall success is going to be. So find ways to kick those bad ones and replace them with helpful new ones. Maybe one of those bad habits is using your phone while eating. And instead, you can fully focus on eating dinner without your phone or your tablet, as you'll better enjoy the meal. The phone no longer is going to become a distraction, which is going to increase the pleasure of the meal. And this can affect other parts of your life where you're more present and results in more enjoyment. Having the right mindset is where it all starts because it determines where you're going. Your mindset is where your thoughts and your focus are. When it's on the right things, such as the things within your control, you better position yourself for growth and success. It really is a difference between whether you think you can or you think you can't. Either way, you're right. If you believe that you can do it, whatever it is, you're going to find a way to get it done. It might take several times trying to figure things out where you fall short, but with enough commitment and effort to it, you're going to be able to get it done. But if you think you can't, then you're always going to be looking for an easy way out, for an excuse on why things are not working or what's to blame. This gets you in the mindset of always willing to jump ship because you're reacting and panicking at the slightest bit of uneasiness. When you can have the mindset of getting better, that who you are right now is not who you're always going to be, that you can develop yourself into much more and success will follow. Because it's not a matter if you're going to get there, it's just a matter of when. That the belief within yourself and in the process is what's going to be the difference in ascending. This allows you to get past a moment where you're never a victim of it, where when things are good or bad, they don't interfere with the big picture of where you're trying to get to. So those good or bad moments that you find yourself in are not final states. They're always fluid, and knowing this helps to better manage your emotions. So when you find yourself angry, you understand that it serves a purpose to get you to do something about it, but knowing that it's going to pass. I can get angry for burning the chicken in the oven, and that's going to help me realize that the anger is there to get me to pay attention the next time I cook it. The anger motivates me to take action so the chicken comes out well, and I could set a timer to ensure it does. The moment I experienced is not how I'm experiencing life all the time, unless that's what I choose for myself. And having that right mindset begins with strengthening and conditioning your mind, that it actively has to be fed with the right information to feel empowered. So it's about conditioning the mind to know that things will be difficult, that struggles are a part of the process and they must be dealt with and overcome. So in those moments that are hard and uncertain, that's the time to really figure out, how can I best handle this and myself? Our default mode is to look for an easy way out, to just get by, looking for a quick fix or looking to get out of it entirely. So we have to learn how to override that tendency to run for the hills and instead face the things that we're going through. Part of conditioning your mind is developing that proper self-talk to prevent self-doubt from taking over. We got to use that proper language that empowers us to take action and believe that we can reach our objectives, where the focus is about what are the things within my control and what can I do about it right now. When this becomes the focus, you're going to make significant strides because the consistent effort is going to pay off. It's knowing that it's not a quick fix, but it's a long-term, sustainable path to growth. Personal development is an ever-long journey in continuously getting better, whereas success in general is when you've reached a certain outcome. Now, your success could be based entirely on how you develop personally, which is a great way to look at it, that if you're growing, then you're successful, and it's not so much an outcome-specific target. It's more an active process in which you're transforming yourself, which is a great way to look at it. But if you want to look at them separately, that's okay, but just know that they're directly correlated with one another. As you personally develop, so will your success rate. The things such as how you handle adversity, what level of accountability and discipline you have, the initiative you display, and how resilient you are, your willingness to learn and try new things, along with so many other aspects, determine your development. Come to embrace building yourself up internally. You might not see the transformation that's going on, but you're definitely going to feel it. It's a rewarding experience that is a lot more sustainable than success on the outside. Valuing this makes you more confident and independent of what's outside your control, where you feel at peace and in control of yourself. Developing yourself personally signals a great sign of ambition and tremendous self-awareness that's going to serve you well going forward. It's not something that should be shied away from, but it's an enlightening journey that enhances us. For you to achieve what you want, it all starts from the inside, and this ensures that you live fulfilled. Success is not the end-all be-all to what makes life worthwhile, but it's the progress made in the different chapters of our lives. What motivates us will always change, but the need for growth will always be a constant. Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you're interested in more topics like this, become a Thriving Minds member at www.thrivingminds.live. It's your personal development resource to help you build the right mindset so you can live to thrive. All right, until next time.